Hello everyone, Donut here. Look what I got in the mail today. Hey! It says congratulations on the 100,000 subscribers. Now I wonder if I can melt this fucking thing down and actually make some money off YouTube. There are two people who have asked for shout-outs in response to me showing my worthless silver button off. And the first person is Lex Phantom Hive, who helped boost my channel more than probably anybody has by making the video about giving me the Asimov skins. A lot of you guys probably came over from him. I want to thank him very much for helping me get to this point. Another person who asked for a shout out from me was Deputy Hookem of Hookem and Bookem. Two very funny cops. Deputy Hookem is also a rapper who goes by the name Forensic. Really cool guy. Go check him out. Today, we are going to take a look at probably one of the most irritating people on the planet. I would like you to meet Pastor Goodstall Spinks of the Old Stone Church in East Haven, Connecticut.
You have no authority in that building.
The whole incident started when 34-year-old Ryan Champlin assaulted his mother. She ran into her bedroom, locked the door, attempted to get away from him. He kicked in the door and then beat her over the head with a telephone until the phone broke. The suspect then fled the scene, went to hide at Old Stone Church while his mom was taken to the hospital. This is felony assault and domestic violence. Police found out that he was hiding in the church. They went over there, they arrested him without incident. All was fine until the pastor pulled up. She started off by blocking in the very patient lieutenant's patrol vehicle.
How are you?
How are you? Good. Lieutenant Murdo.
Nice to meet you.
Good. What's going on?
You tell me.
We're only 3 seconds into the video and she's already the most condescending person I've ever seen in my life.
This is a church.
Correct.
We're protected by federal law and state law. It is a place of sanctuary and refuge.
Okay. I understand
Your
that.
officer came inside and arrested a young man that was in there. And they have no authority in that building to do any such thing.
We're 5 seconds into the video, and she's already wrong as hell. This is not England in the 1600s where the guards can't come into the church and arrest you for stealing someone's tea or some shit. This is America. When you beat the shit out of your mom with a telephone, the police can come into the church and arrest your ass.
Period.
Period. Oh my God, you're so condescending. And they have every right to come in there and arrest the 34-year-old man who beat the shit out of his mom with a phone.
Period.
You realize that he's
And
a
I
domestic
did.
violence
I do.
felony suspect.
I do, Lieutenant Murgo. And you realize that you see on the news all the time
Yes.
people taking sanctuary, refuge in a church,
Correct.
and even the federal law
Okay.
can't come in and get them because this place is a protected place.
I understand that.
So now she's telling the good lieutenant that federal law enforcement cannot even come inside of that building. By law, mind you. We're already like a minute into the video. I would have already told her to kick rocks, that she's wrong, and drove off. Thank God we have patient lieutenants like this.
Yes.
You understand that he assaulted his mother to the fact that she's at the hospital now. We have a domestic violence victim at the hospital, and he's a felony suspect that was wanted for, amongst other things, assault in the 2nd degree, interfering with a 911 emergency phone call. His family is terrified of him, okay? I understand what you're saying, all right? But if there
have
has
to
be
be this way. You don't get to violate the law to enforce the law.
Ma'am.
You don't get to do that.
But
I
this is-
asked them to wait
Ma'am.
5 minutes.
We don't have that
5
time.
minutes. Oh,
we don't
yes,
have that time.
you do. Yes, you do.
Ma'am.
Yes, you do.
Let me explain something to this nutty lady. There is a preschool and a daycare center attached to that church with children in it. A felonious suspect who just beat the hell out of his mom with a cell phone, putting her in the hospital, is inside that church, and they know it. But according to her, oh, they have time. They could have waited. Get a hold of yourself, lady.
I understand what you're saying. You're very passionate about this, and I get it. I totally respect that, and this is no disrespect to the church. With that being said,
It is a
with that
disrespect
being
to
said,
the
ma'am,
church.
with that being said, if there's going to be a mistake here, we're going to err on the side of caution,
Good.
and we're going to apprehend
And
the
you
suspect.
could have waited because they knew I was 5 minutes away.
Ma'am,
You
have nothing to
Listen.
do. You have nothing to do with a felony assault that took place.
I do when the person that's being charged is in my church.
And we don't owe
I
anything
have
to the victim?
everything to do with it.
We don't owe anything
when the
to the victim?
person being charged is in my church.
We don't have anything. We don't have anything owed to the victim here. That's the thing here, and I understand.
Listen, I understand what you're saying, but what you don't seem to want to hear is that you didn't have the authority to do that.
Do what?
Come into this church and arrest anybody. That young man could have been counseled by his pastor to walk out the door of that church, meet you in the parking lot.
And do you think that's what would have happened?
I do, because this is how it's supposed to work.
Okay.
Okay. Let the pastor tell the police lieutenant how policing is supposed to work, because that works every time. I don't know if you guys do this, but every time police get into an incident, we make sure to get on our cell phones, pull up Facebook, and see how the public wants us to handle situations.
But how it's supposed to work,
come in.
Man, how it's supposed to work and how these things actually work are two different things, okay? So
Listen,
I
I wasn't born yesterday, and I'm not appreciating this at all.
I
Got
get
it?
it.
I'm not appreciating this. I respect your work.
I'm just letting you know where
I
our
am not
stance is.
stupid.
Fooled the shit out of me.
I am stupid.
I'm just letting you know where our stance is.
I understand. You want to arrest the domestic violence perpetrator. I understand that.
Okay.
I get that.
Thank you.
I get that. I was a hospital chaplain at a regional trauma center for years.
Okay.
You want to know how much domestic violence I've seen? Much more than you've seen, probably.
Hopefully a lot, okay?
Much more than you've seen.
I understand
that
what you're saying.
young man is safe in that building, and until he comes out on his own, you have no authority.
Well,
you violated the law.
We violated the law.
You did.
Why is she treating this like he stole a candy bar from the store? Even her facial expressions are so condescending to the lieutenant who's being incredibly nice to her. He hasn't even said anything about her being wrong about everything that's coming out of her mouth. Look at that smug face. You did. You violated the law. You don't know nothing about the law, Lieutenant.
Ma'am, I'm sorry,
You
but
did.
in this situation, all right, it was the better play for us to apprehend a violent suspect.
It is not.
It was our only play. It was our only play at that point.
The young man would have walked out that door and turned himself in.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Just
ask away.
Do you think that in the real world, how your theory would have actually happened?
Do you have any idea about the relationship I have with that young man? No, you don't. Not one bit. All you see is the bad guy. That's all you see, and you're going to take him away.
We have a victim that's at the hospital.
And I respect that. And I respect his rights, too. And what you didn't respect his rights at all.
Okay. Well,
he had the right to be in there, waiting for his pastor to come in a safe place, sheltered, so that he could be counseled about what to do next.
He was arrested for a violent felony.
I understand.
Okay.
And that arrest could have been made outside the church.
Had we just
legally,
had we just walked away, just answer. Had we just walked away?
Nobody asked you to walk away. I asked him to wait. Wait. And look at all the time now you have to stand here in this parking lot and argue with me, but you didn't have 5 minutes to wait.
I had 3 officers that just went to another domestic violence incident, lights and sirens, while we were here.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
They have all the time in the world now because they arrested him inside the church before he could hurt you or any of the children or any of the other people inside of the church. If you listen closely, the other officer said, while we were here arresting him, we got another call for domestic violence, and 3 of our officers had to leave this scene to go to that one. She just shrugs her shoulders and says, sorry.
I had 3 officers that just went to another domestic violence incident, lights and sirens, while we were here.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
At this point, we have him in custody.
It does not justify you doing what you did.
I'm just trying to talk to
it doesn't
understand
I know what you did. I understand what you did. What you don't seem to understand is what you did is illegal.
I understand.
That's the part you guys just have the barrier up. You don't get to do that. I could have walked him out and put him in your custody. He could have walked out on his own.
How do you know that you weren't in danger, ma'am?
I know.
How?
I know.
How?
I know
because
this young
knows
man.
The young man.
I know him, and you don't.
So by her logic, if you know somebody, they won't hurt you. Also, there's a magical force field around that church that doesn't allow law enforcement to come in. It's blowing her mind that the magic force field around the church didn't work. And who the fuck are you? Why are you getting involved in this situation?
And there are a lot of people
The only
who know
thing that
this
we
young
know
man.
about this young man is that he
And
assaulted his mother to the point where she had to go to the hospital. That he ripped the phone out of her hands and assaulted her with it. He hit her with the phone. Okay? We have a violent domestic while she's trying to dial 911. He interfered with all of that.
Yes,
okay?
he told me he did that.
All right, so I understand
Do you
that.
understand the meaning of the word sanctuary?
I understand
You
that.
know,
It's
you
a
don't.
safe place.
It means you don't have.
Exactly.
You have zero rights in that building.
This is America, lady, and if a police officer needs to arrest somebody who just committed a felony, they will take that door off its fucking hinges if they need to. Your magic sanctuary bubble doesn't work like that, and the law also doesn't work like that.
Zero rights. I don't care who let you in. Nobody told you to arrest that man.
Ma'am,
Nobody
the
invited
rest of
you
his
in
family,
to arrest
the
that
rest
man.
of his family at this point is not in danger anymore.
And this
okay, so I'm
church-
sorry that we may have violated.
You be sorry all you want. You have not heard the end of this. It's going to get ugly. You
Okay.
didn't have the right to do that.
Ma'am,
You
we had
didn't.
to take a
And
domestic
I'm
violence
gonna
suspect
stand up.
into custody.
Yes, you do.
Okay?
Of course
We
you do.
we had that duty.
Of course you do. And
Okay?
it's not either or like you want to make it. It's not either or like you would like it to be.
I'm just telling you that that's
It's
the
not
safer play.
either or the way
That's
you'd like
the
to play it
safer
out
play,
to
ma'am.
be. The reality is that is a sanctuary and you have no authority.
We didn't force our way into the church.
You didn't. But
didn't
you
force
were
our way into the
asked
church.
by the pastor of the church
Were you
not
here?
to do that, to wait.
Ma'am, were
I
you
was
here?
5 minutes away.
But we don't. Our timeline isn't on whether or not the pastor
Oh,
is
sorry.
5 or 10
You've
minutes
got
away.
all this time.
So not only does she believe in her magic bubble now, she doesn't understand how time works. They have time now because the person's in custody. They have the time now because they're taking that time out of their day when they could be patrolling or doing something else just to argue with your dumbass at a parking lot for 10 minutes. Who let this potato be a pastor?
Once he's
You
in
got all
custody.
this time.
Once he's in custody, yes.
He
As a
was
supervisor, I'm
going
here to speak with you.
nowhere. He was going nowhere.
How
And
can you say that? And what if he did?
had
He had
walked
been
out
unaccounted
of the
for.
building, you could have
What if-
arrested
Wasn't
him.
unaccounted
What if he did? Then we have a family
Oh,
that's
stop
terrified.
it. I'm
No,
done with this.
If
Why?
you were
I'm done
here,
with this.
he was here.
Okay.
If he had walked out of the building,
All right.
you had every right to arrest him. When he's in that building,
Ma'am.
You
you
have no
rights.
authority. None.
We did not force our way into the
I
church.
didn't say you did.
matter of fact, we were welcomed into the church.
Nobody invited you to come in. They opened the door for you. You come in with all your authority that you don't have, and they don't know you don't have any authority.
Right.
But you know you don't have any, and you exercise
Any authority
it
to
anyway.
arrest a felony
you have
suspect?
no authority in that building.
Okay.
I am the pastor of this church.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him to wait. Not happening today. You violated your own authority. You violated the law that you are supposed to be enforcing.
Okay.
And that's not okay.
All right.
That
Well,
is not okay.
She's potatoing all over the officer. She's potatoing all over the place. And I don't know who these fucking people are in the back who are backing her up. If they agree with her, think of how many hundreds of people at the church probably agree with her on this stupid shit.
His family is a little bit safer because he's now in custody.
The
all right.
whole world is safer. And you want to know something? Everybody in this church was just fine. There have been a whole bunch of people here all day. The young man
Yeah.
didn't touch anybody.
We're forgetting that there's a victim
He was
here,
sitting and
ma'am.
doing a puzzle. I am not forgetting anything. You're
you seem to
forgetting
be.
that is a
We're
church.
forgetting that there's a domestic violence victim that's in the hospital right now that was assaulted
I'm
with
not
a phone.
forgetting anything.
Okay.
The young
All right.
man would have been counseled by his pastor to call an attorney, to go out and turn himself in to the police.
At that
but
point,
for you to come
Him turning
in,
himself in is off the table at that point, man.
for you to come in and arrest him in that church is a violation of his rights.
Violation
A
of his
violation
rights.
of his. Yes, because you want to know something? Even people in jail, even people in prison have rights.
Man, please.
Even
please.
people in prison have rights.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have rights.
He had every right to sit at that church without being arrested in the church. That is his right in this country. That is his right.
Well, at that point,
You don't
we had
have to like
apprehend-
it.
We had to apprehend the suspect, and that's that. All right?
God dang, you nutty fucking potato. This is a person that has so much influence over hundreds of people. I had to watch this more than a few times while I was making this video, and now I need a drink. Anyways, everyone, this is Donut. I'm going to be streaming at 8:30 p.m. EST. Come hang out, twitch.tv/donutoperator. Please have a fantastic day.